One thing playing on our minds. Long wait, but we won't give up now. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting tide, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night. Tell if we're dreaming now. We watch as the fire falls down. One thing playing on our minds. Time stops and we don't make a sound. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting tide, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night.
but I just gotta know one thing. Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
Welcome to Grindhouse 3v3 League Week 9. We are back at it with the Boyd and the Rob. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. I'm excited to get into it. A little biased today, maybe coming in, but just for game one. But I'm just excited to be here. Should be a lot of fun matchups on the docket.
Let me go over them real quickly for you guys. As y'all saw in that intro screen today, we have the Cosmos taking on the Funky Monkeys at the S tier, coming up right at first in just a sec as soon as we get those players in. But following up that, we've got How Do You Like Your Eggs versus High Stakes' B tier. Following that, we've got Farmers Only versus Team XB to round us out, and we did unfortunately have a last minute cancellation by Beans, so we will not be having that coaches match on stream. But I do have a special update for you guys on the playoff format. We're going to talk through everything, just make sure everybody understands what's kind of going down for that. But that's pretty much what we're going to be going over today. Rob, real quick, what are your kind of thoughts on some of the matches while I get these players together?
Well, first off, I think it's important to look right away at the one that we got started, right? So we got Funky Monkey versus Cosmos in the S tier. And I think so. This is the first and third overall team in S tier going at it. Funky Monkey is your 1 seed, Cosmos is your 3, and Cosmos lost that 2 seed last week, right? So there is an argument to be made that this is a potential finals view, right? Preview. I'm not going out calling a shot, right? But this is a matchup that you would not be surprised to see in the playoffs, and I think that this late into the season, it's always going to be interesting to see how those things play into each other, right? See how these teams match up in a series as we look ahead to playoffs.
Oh, we're getting those players in.
Should I just toss them an invite?
Yeah, drop from the match real quick, because you'll be able to see my screen and everything. Because it says the other team's trying to join, but
they just
they can't.
Okay. We should potentially have subs not in lobby, and then we could fit.
Yeah. But I mean, you're gonna see my screen, so it'll be Gucci.
Do they have 5 people in the lobby on a 4-man team?
No, they joined 4. Nah. All right, we've got everybody here. Looks like our players are ready, so we're gonna go ahead and get into our first matchup of the day. So, introducing your S tier matchup of the day, we've got the Cosmos, Barlos, Keyless, Zach Wagon, and Fly Kid are going to be taking on the Funky Monkeys. It's going to be Egg Dip, Goose Cowboy, Sosa, and Rob taking the pitch. And I'm so happy that we get to start with an S tier matchup. It's just going to bring the energy to this stream.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be.
I'm so excited. It's going to be so fast. We get to see players go crazy right on the pitch. And we're about to get right into it. And then they are good to go there. I don't have this in borderless mode. That's why it's being funky.
Funky
We're so
like the monkeys
close.
of the blue team. Oh, that was a heater to start us off.
There we go. All right, we've got everything up and we are live. We are back with week number 9. To start things off, we got to swap the teams because they are not on Funky Monkeys. They joined this way. There we go. All right, kickoff seems to have gone pretty well. First 15 seconds, not really too much has kind of happened. We've had both sets of teams just kind of feel themselves out. We've got some good pressure here from the Cosmos to start things off, and Zach will get that freebie. And that's what I know. Rob's looking forward to seeing that happen.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. One thing that we've been talking a lot about as the Cosmos, specifically with Zach, is staying in the play, being productive on your way through. And it's something you see him do a really good job of, that a lot of the time, even in S tier, but specifically the lower tiers, you don't see players on 0 boost comfortable staying in front of the play. As we see Keyless get a great beat in the midfield. But creating a goal there was a player just making sure that they take the space they're already in, and I think it's an important thing to point out.
Oh yeah, no, that I'm loving to see that like things you guys have been working on are already starting to pay off less than a minute into our first match here. And we're seeing Zach go again, trying to create these opportunities. He's excited to play on stream today because, you know, a lot of players will have those kind of first game nerves, but to see players come out and be excited to make things happen, ooh, low boost there. Will be good pressure for Funky Monkeys, but to see players kind of come out and be excited for their matches like this is just one thing that I'm really happy that we get to facilitate.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the coach of the Cosmos, I am super happy that we started off hot. Caster Cursed almost comes in, and Barlow's is going to be turning this the other way. Might be starting something. Gets a little air dribble. Keyless has a follow off the wall. Looks to get a pass mid. Isn't quite going to find it, but still just a bang of a clear, right? Cosmos might be able to still maintain pressure off this, doing a really good job staying spaced. Look at that, taking control over around. And Zach, another great job of simplifying the play, staying in it, and creating a second goal for himself only 2 minutes into this game. Looking fantastic.
Bro, he really about to hit that gear 5.
Yeah, right?
He's going crazy.
The profile picture's not for nothing, man. It's awesome to see him out there too, because a lot of the time, a lot of our lineups have been Keyless, Flykid, and Barlos. So Zach has a little bit less playing time. So it's really, really cool to see that as he's been grinding this season and working and improving, and they're again creating another potential shooting opportunity, but he's making the most of it right here on stream, and he's looking fantastic. So something that regardless of franchise, regardless of team, you love to see. That is not, though, regardless of franchise. Regardless of team, I don't love to see that, but that's a great pass from
just the
great
force
creation
there was great.
from Cowboy. Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, I'm glad to see that Funky Monkeys are awake. They aren't just gonna take this sitting down. As much as we love like sweeps point wise for our league placings, it's less content, and I do like to see more games if possible.
Yeah, Darty, the difference here is that this is my team. I would love a sweep. I would love to see only 3 games coming out for the Cosmos. So, you know, I understand as a content thing, we want to get these the drama built up, but I would be totally cool with
it's just not, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to kind of go back a little bit to what you said about like saying that you really enjoyed seeing Zach Wagon on the pitch here as he is your sub, and that's one thing that I do think is like very neat about our league in particular, is that the top of A and the bottom of S are all kind of really interchangeable, I think. And so like as we go into next season, I'm really interested to see what a lot of the team comps will look like, because I feel like there's not gonna be a lot of change, but there's also gonna be a lot of change, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's going to be turnover, inevitably, as Eggdib looks for a shot, gets a reset, might have a double, doesn't have it, thank goodness. As a Cosmos coach, again, I'm happy to avoid that one without a goal going in. But as a dangerous touch from Goose. What you're getting at, right? There's going to be inevitable turnover tier to tier, and so some players from S will go down to A, and it's not necessarily that they played poorly, right, or had a bad season, but inevitably players improve, right? And so someone who I have a player on my A tier team who inevitably is going to be an S tier next season, Savage Gnome, right? He hit 1560 in twos, almost 1500 in threes, and so he has always egg dip. Isn't going to have a double, but gets the threatening touch, and Sosa not able to find at the bottom of the net.
Sosa not saucing today. He's been kind of quiet for a player of his stature.
Yeah, didn't he win MVP of the league last season in some capacity?
Did. I mean, he was also that was also due to like coaches kind of bailing out, and he basically coached the entire team, but then also was performing very well. So it was like both combines. But this
Keyless gets a great pass, and Zach gets his third. Zach Wagon gonna have his hat trick. Love it. Barlos off the backboard. Keyless, great pressure keeping it in, recognizing that he doesn't have the shot, just drops it for control. Lets Zach take it from there.
Keyless drops the controller and says, "Go crazy, man."
Fantastic. I mean, that's the team plays are looking really nice from the Cosmos. More than anything, it feels like it's a support diff right now. Last week on the stream, I talked a lot about how my A-tier team actually, one of the big reasons that they lost is they didn't have the support, right? As you see a demo coming in from Funky Monkey stopping a threatening play there. But what you're seeing is that the Cosmos, as a second man, are kind of always applying pressure, whereas right now, Funky Monkey is a little bit, they're caught off, right? There's a little bit too much space between their first and second man, and that was taken advantage of quite a few times so far. So I'm interested to see if Game 2, Game 3, moving forward in this series, that's going to stay and hold true.
And wrap things up here. Ooh,
Zach finds himself a fourth with a fantastic shot top corner.
Gear 4, Snake Man, and is just finding that he's done everything this series. Absolute monster to start things off the stream. And that'll be Cosmos taking that game number 1. You'll love to see it if you're Rob, and you'll love to see it if you're a Cosmos enjoyer. But what do you think the adjustments need to be for going into game number 2 for the Funky Monkeys?
I think it's that space thing. I think it's the level of support that they have or don't have. You see, again, right, 3 out of 4 of those goals were assisted. I mean, 10 shots coming in to only 3. It's just a pressure difference, right? And typically pressure is diffed by support, right? And so if there's no support, there's no shots. If there's no support, there's no creation. You don't get to keep the ball in if your third man is in the wrong spot, if your second man is in the wrong spot. And so you're seeing a full team effort, right, maintaining all of that pressure, where on the Funky Monkey side, it's just not quite there right now.
So if you're telling them, you're saying, hey, boys, you gotta play with each other, your teammates, just lock it in.
Yeah, essentially, right? Stay a little bit closer to the play. Don't commit to the perfect option. Leave your options open.
And we're going to go ahead and get right into game number 2 here. So let's see if they can make those adjustments and keep things on a high note here. Ooh, Egg's going to be threatening up front. We will have Sosa take this to the corner. He's going to be looking for some teammate support here, but Zach shuts that one down quickly.
Looking to do everything himself again, right? Demo in the midfield, great rotation through, maintaining the flow. Keyless is going to get a big bang. Egg dip could be threatening here, but Zach there again. Cowboy might have a shot, is going to be off backboard. Going to be for a foul for Sosa. And just not really a shot coming in as Zach tosses it to space. And once again, the Cosmos support is really backing each other up, making sure everything stays safe.
You know, this is a lot of time here for the Cosmos to get boost and find their position here, but that's just as much time for the Cosmos as it is the Funky Monkeys. So let's see if they can wrestle that ball back and start getting an offense going. Starting to get to some of the fireworks here as game number 2. We've got a little bit more aggression coming out of both teams here, but a little bit more defensive safety is needed on both sides.
Barlos is last back alone here. Hopefully he's able to corral this one. Gets a nice little fake. Sosa with a great extension. Gets a bump and a demo. Exactly. And that might be a full field goal for Keyless. Not quite able to find the bottom of the net.
to Egg, looking for Cowboy, but Cowboy's going to stay up and look for the demo here. Kept up by Egg, looking for more. Barlos will clear that high. We got a double commit there. The communication pulls one off, and they're able to recover back. But on low boost, Sosa is in a bit of a pinch. And if Barlos can just find that open net, it's going to be a freebie for Cosmos to continue their reign of terror.
And it's a support thing again, right? Sosa with that clear, there's nobody there to follow it up because the double commit right beforehand, right? And so it's not even that they're getting outplayed individually, right? Because I don't think that they are. This team right now, Funky Monkeys, in first by a pretty wide margin, 13 points in S tier.
Yep.
And they have earned it, right? And so they clearly are capable of performing at a really high level, but what you see is that pressure makes teams panic, right? And panic leads to a lack of comfort, which leads to a lack of support, a lack of control. And so even though this team has seemed untouchable for quite a while, not all it takes, right? But with the right combination of pressure, support, boost stealing, control, anyone is beatable in this league, no matter how they've done so far. And I think that's one of the really beautiful things about it.
Oh yeah, and even like a little bit of history. One of the things I got the pleasure to do is give Luke a lot of money and play under, like, have apparently Jack as my coach for a good like 6 months, and that was a lot of fun. But would never recommend it to anybody. But because it was not financially responsible. But one of the things he said most importantly is that pros aren't as good as you think, and that same thing applies to this league. Is nobody is as good as you think they are. Like, you can play your game, just do whatever you want to, but don't be intimidated by the players in this.
Oh, Zach.
Except Barlos here and Zach. As Zach is absolutely cooking today. As he's up
look at the control.
What is that? Brutal. You should be afraid of Zach right now, but other than that, everybody can lock it and make it happen.
Yeah, it's they're just working so well together, right? There's control coming out from them, allowing their teammates to get to a supporting position, right? Barlow's slowing that down, really letting Zach get into a second man spot, keeping this play alive, and Keyless almost gets a dunk demo through the net. Barlow's not going to be able to follow up with a shot, though, and there the lack of support showing that even the Cosmos, who've been doing it so well so far, it's not an every time thing, right? It's really difficult to maintain the flow as a unit of three, right? It's an extremely complicated process, especially when the game is going this quickly. Zach looks for a pass across to Barlos, gets a control touch. Egg Dip is going to try to get this clear over to Goose, does get one touch. No follow, though, as Zach takes control again. Going to be looking for one more pass mid. Just going to pick up a second assist. Keyless keeps it in. So we've seen it so much today as Goose picks up an open net. I think there was a bump on the back end, and great teamwork, great, what's the word of the day? Support, right, from Funky Monkey for picking up a goal here.
Your sight word of the day is support. Support.
I mean, I think I ended up talking about that essentially all stream last week because it was so evident. As I think support is one of the biggest differences from tiers, from ranks, from whatever, right, is how you play as a team. And it's what I think I casted. It was Funky Monkey's B tier team.
Oh,
great
that
pass! That's great support, right?
And
phenomenal.
Equalizing with less than a minute left. Now's the time when Rob gets a little worried.
Nah, I'm not worried.
He's not worried.
Even if we lose this game, I'm still not worried. It's about the process, right? One game, stuff happens, but over a 5-game series, you trust what you learn, you trust how you apply it. You trust what got you here, and that'll carry you through.
Absolutely. Just the faith that you have in your team and your players.
Funky Monkey's B tier team last match day played one of the most impressive series I've seen in a while from a team at their rank. If you go watch the VOD, I encourage anybody to. I was talking so much about how much support they had, despite the B tier isn't the highest level of mechanical skill, right? But what they did was such a phenomenal job of playing as a team, getting each other free balls, using boost, giving each other time. And they played like an S tier team would if they just didn't have the mechanics. And it was really impressive. As Sosa looks to ice this on 0 seconds. Hopefully we get this out here as a team bump comes in. Keyless, please get the save. Thank fucking God. Clearly biased, but please don't let it end that way. Oh my God. And Cowboy looking to turn it the other way. Zach is going to play a safe third here. Barlos has the boost, could start a play. Zach gets one beat in the midfield. This could be threatening. And Barlos, if he was able to read that, could have just gone and really applied that pressure, played the numbers. Zach looks for a double, keeps it mid. No one can be able to follow. Keyless with a shot
from downtown.
And again, phenomenal support from the Cosmos. I love to see it, right? You got one guy on ball, one guy bumping, providing off-ball pressure, and you have your support right behind it. It takes a lot. It's scary to have all three players upfield like that, right? And on the lower tiers, you'll see a lot of hesitation in those spots. But a phenomenal job from Keyless in particular here to just make sure that even though Zach was the one making the pass, and even though Barlos was in front of the play, Keyless didn't have anyone behind him. But it didn't matter because if he did what he wanted, if he got that shot on target, it was over. Right? Having the trust and faith in himself to capitalize on that opportunity, even in such a risky situation, is, I think, what separates these S-tier players specifically from the lower ones, and is great execution from the guys on the Cosmos. I'm ecstatic. They look fantastic.
Yeah, the director Cam definitely did them dirty, as you know, Keyless wasn't even on my radar until that shot was already connected and in. And that kind of goes to show like the pace we're playing at compared to the other tiers. But we are just moving along here. Go ahead and getting into our third match here. Cosmos threatening to sweep.
Dip is going to pick up a goal right away. I will say, Funky Monkey looked a lot better, specifically in the second half of that game. And so, even though it is 2-0, I think this is, again, far from over, right? I don't like thinking about where the series is. I like thinking about one game at a time. And right now, we still have to win another game against a team that has earned the title of best in the tier right now. Right, and that is not easy to ever beat the team that is in first. And they have egos, they have confidence, they're here for a reason. They don't want to go down like that, and I think you're going to see them really come to life here because they know it's now or never.
Yeah, we
As
even
Zach
saw it.
tosses it in. I mean, the other thing is that I think you see the importance of backboard defense, right? That's the second or third touch backboard now for the Cosmos that have been completely uncontested.
And they've gotten a lot of pressure off of that.
Exactly. Even that last goal that Keyless scored in overtime, if someone's on backboard for that, it's not an easy save, but it's simple, right? It's difficult to do as Soso looks to get a shot on net here. But the backboard is really, really a valuable part of the play, and it's impossible to see just how much it means until people are there. Sosa misses that ball. Barlos, great shot off of a great pass from Keyless, applying pressure. Again, you see the level of support that is here, right? One mistouch, one small mistake, and that's all it takes for these fast teams, right? That are always there as a unit, and it's just so tough to stop that. As Sosa looks for a great. I think Sosa's had the best 3 or 4 solo plays we've seen today, right?
Which is starting to warm up here with the ceiling pogo to try and follow. He's starting to warm up now. It's because I think that that does come down to stream jitters a lot. Like first team on the stream always kind of like they need a game or two to warm up, and
Zach with a ceiling double. Oh my goodness!
Good lord!
What a phenomenal shot, showing he wants to be out here, man, and he's earning that. That's a great beat, great 50, way to maintain his momentum in a phenomenal shot, right? Understanding that he doesn't need to boost a bunch, understanding that his car's moving that way already, just making sure he gets a nice little soft touch on target and a phenomenal follow-up from him.
Bang. See if he wants to create that what he had in game 1. He's just like showing up and showing out. I haven't seen him a ton on stream because he is like, I don't want to say he's your sub, but
he was our 4th pick. But I was ecstatic. I was considering him as our third.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so fortunate to have him fall to us in the fourth. But he is one of the most coachable players that I have. He's a great dude. He's even when he's not playing, he's a phenomenal fourth man, right? Very positive, helping keep the team focused on track. And so he's one of those guys that he's just you love to have him. He does his job, and he's here to make everyone's lives a little easier.
And I know it is tough on him. He's got a new kid that he's helping raise, so that like he has had to like dip from a lot of like opportunity that I would have wanted him to have. A lot of availability goes to, you know, having a newborn, but for him to be able to put in the work and still make things
priorities, happen. By the way.
If
you're not practicing flip resets when you have a newborn child, what are you doing?
Yeah, how are you gonna be ready to teach the kid how to flip reset if you don't know how
That's
to?
what I'm saying.
We need that
You
kid
think
to be
Zen's dad? You think Zen's dad was letting him cry?
Nah.
No. Get another flip reset, young French boy.
We're gonna end up with a first killer's dad.
Second killer.
Fourth killer.
Yeah, right. Sosa with a nice pinch mid is going to get some pressure here, but Zach shutting it down. Goose keeps it in, could be threatening, and there again, right?
To equal.
To the support, right? It's literally every goal. Is look how quickly that second man is there for Funky Monkey, where they aren't for the Cosmos. It was a phenomenal layoff, phenomenal shot, and I mean, again, we might find ourselves heading to overtime with a minute and a half left. It's an equalizer.
Ooh, I'd love to see
Not
it.
to jinx myself as Zach misses this ball.
Ooh.
Shot coming in. Keyless does get a save on 0. Threatening. Has a
double
beat
commit.
on 2, and that might
gonna beat
find
him
its
to
way.
this? Nah, no.
He's not.
Oh,
And-
that touch is a bit
He's
spooky.
gonna beat him to this though. Keeps it in, and you're gonna see very low boost on 2 of the Funky Monkey players here. Barlow's great
clear.
save from Cowboy, and Keyless looks
Gets
for a
to
shot
do
of
it
his
again.
own.
Oh, but
Doesn't
Sosa
find the
has
back of
him.
the net. And Zach is gonna miss this one. Sosa's looking for a shot.
Oh,
Is
it's
not
off the
in.
post.
Barlow's is gonna miss that
There's
one.
no
But Keyless gets
support.
Yeah, exactly. It's a ping pong match right now. Great demo from Keyless. No support in time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Demos left and right. Ball bouncing back and forth across the field. Sosa is going to get a pop, going to get a beat, but dies for it. Zach looks for a double, is going to get a 50. Ball still going. Make Ed Dip gets one touch. Goose gets it past another, and now you see a counterattack coming from Funky Monkey. Barlow's shutting it down. And I mean, it's just demos everywhere.
We've got a high ball, we've got a pop, and now we can catch our breaths a little bit as the last 30 seconds were just explosive with crazy saves back and forth. This is both teams want this series. And please don't let it end like that.
Gosh, or do, if I don't mind. Oh my goodness. And Zach Wagon's going to find himself a free ball here. 8 seconds left. Gets a touch. Looks for a 50. Has it. Could be threatening. Sosa does get it clear. And unless Keyless is able to keep this up, he does. Barlos, Zach might be there. We find ourselves another OT. How you feeling, Birdie?
OT, OT, OT. My content.
I mean, and this is... A goal is so hard to come by in 3s, especially at a high level, right? In 2s, it's... OT could be over in a minute, right? But in 3s, you've seen this go back and forth for almost a minute and a half now, just trading heavyweight punches. And
oh yeah,
I'm really interested to see how this goal is going to come because you see both teams now firing on all cylinders, right? There's
everybody's
support from
awake.
both, shots from both, aerial plays from both. Oh my goodness,
Bartlos is looking for it.
Almost a game ender. But both teams not giving these freebies that we've seen throughout, and I think it's going to come off of a demo, hopefully, or a crazy double from Sosa right now. Not going to find it though.
But no support. You'll have to play that back, keep things safe so that they can try again. Zach's reading that one down though, and we will see a back and forth. They're just fighting for possession here in the midfield.
Oh my goodness, little
we're seeing a
Plan
lot
B
of
pogo?
We're seeing a lot of outplay the first man. Get the second man to have to get involved, but there's no execution there.
Yeah, over and over. And I mean, I gotta find another word. It doesn't even sound like a word to me anymore. But in terms of what you're talking about and how these goals. Oh my
Round
goodness!
one, and
it's
Zach
great
will
outplay
drive
from
that
Keeler.
home.
Let's fucking go, man!
Congrats. Let's
Oh,
take
what a
another look at that
series.
game winner. Keyless over Goose Cowboy to give it to Zach. What a series for him, man. And that
And
is
I
going to be the
believe-
Cosmos.
So they got out of that lobby pretty quick,
ASAP
but I gotta check
Rocky.
that ball chasing because
It's all
they
uploaded through
had
me.
almost. Well, no, I want to look at the stats.
Oh, yeah.
because They had, I believe, yeah. How many saves do you think Funky Monkey had that game?
Stat game?
The answer was 15.
15?
They had 15 saves. Zach Wagon had 8 shots, Keyless had 4, and Barlos had 6.
That's wild.
Yeah, Sosa with 7 saves, Cowboy with 5, Egg Dip with 3, and I mean, we really basically just watched a unstoppable force versus a movable object for 7 minutes, right? Because you have, what is that, 8, 4, 12, 18 shots, right? And 15 saves. Are you kidding me? So just a really, really impressive performance from both teams. And I think that we're pretty lucky to get out of that with a sweep. Funky Monkey brought us to overtime in 2 games. But I'm really impressed with how my guys executed today. I'm really proud of it. And really cool stuff from them to see the things that they have been struggling with and haven't been executing on, see how that shifted for today. And I'm sure they felt it too, right? They just swept the team that was #1 overall, right? That's
so
awesome.
sick.
I'm super proud of them. Really well executed. And they've been working for it. So really, really awesome job by them. Hope they're listening in so they can hear me say that.
Oh, wait, whoopsies. I got to remake that lobby. I was trying to be sly with it and just make it like really quickly, just like, oh yeah, no, just join this pack. But I gotta change the team names. So yeah, that was series #1. We didn't expect. I mean, Rob is very happy with a 3-0.
I did not expect to sweep,
but
in
we
any
didn't
capacity.
expect that.
I was thinking it was going 5 no matter what team won it, and I think that if and when they meet again in the playoffs, it's not going like that. So we will take that result. We're happy with that result, but in no way do we view that as oh, what an easy sweep, blah 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 blah. We work for that shit, and they made us work. So incredible job from them. Do you need me to leave the lobby?
I just dropped you from the party because I'll be sharing the screen anyways that you can watch. So
Well, I'm in the lobby though. Do you want me to leave the lobby?
Go ahead and leave that. Just so that players aren't joining that one. And we are going to go to break here for 5 quick minutes just so that we can get everything ready for you guys. And we will be right back. All right, we are back. Thank you for your patience. A nice quick 5 minutes for everybody to grab a snack, grab some water. And we're going to go ahead and get into our next match here. Coming up next, we've got High Stakes taking on the Eggs here. For your Eggs lineup today, we've got Irv, Max, Abspector, and Eric the Hispanic. And now, for the High Stakes lineup, we've got Cool Nerd, Qful, Shintox, and Brown Bread. See if the boys in red, I'm a little biased here, can bring their best, because they need it. We have a shot at playoffs if everybody kind of cooks this week. So here's to a good series.
I mean, so the other thing worth noting, right, is that in B tier, Eggs are at 14 points, and High Stakes are at 6, right? So. Yep. We're expanding the playoffs to 4 teams. There's another team that's at 12. So whoever ends up higher out of these 2 teams right now kind of controls their destiny. So this is a kind of a must-win for High Stakes. That said, they also are cooking. They just won their first series of the season last week. It was against my B tier team, and my B tier team is currently either in first or second. And so it's really impressive. That wasn't their first last week. My apologies. Yep. I was looking at last week's scores, but it's close. They look good. It's a big matchup, and it could be anybody's game.
I love to see that. And getting into this, it's going to be a bit of a back and forth to get things started here. There's nobody really taking good possession here. We've seen it on both sides of the pitch in the first 30 seconds. It's just about to see who takes that control and who has, that keyword of the day, support. Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a great kind of example. You're going to see the contrast between the level of second man positioning in your S tier versus your B tier. And I think it's going to be a really, really glaring, and that's kind of going to be the separator. That's a great shot from Shintox, right? You see, so control is the other word, because you can't have support without control. So Shintox, phenomenal control touch, gets around the ball, sees where the defenders are, and puts it to space. That's a really, really impressive job from a B tier player of controlling the ball, reading the play, and really facilitating a goal right away for his team.
That's a good kickoff for both teams. No crazy variance there, but Eggs did take that possession off the kickoff. Were able to find a teammate and put a good shot on, but now it's going to be about High Stakes trying to dig themselves out of this defensive position. They are getting good boosts going around. They've gotten it up the field, maintaining that pressure. They got to pop up. They're looking for their teammates. Shintox looking for another, and just not quite able to pull that trigger, and they will have to fight this one back as Spectre is taking things up the pitch.
And great support from Eric. They're going to have their third man to support, and they do, right? So immediately, looking at it, support into support, and it's a goal, right? Yep. Ab takes the first 50, Eric takes the second 50, and before anyone from the blue team can get there, Eggs puts it in the back of the net with phenomenal team play. Yep. And that's going to be the name of the game. Consistent things are what win championships, right? You could win a game off of a peak double tap. You could win a game off of a peak flip reset, off of a peak passing play. Yep. Right? But what wins titles and what wins for seasons is the way that you work together. And so that level of teamwork coming out from Eggs, they look really, really good at the start of this.
Oh yeah. But a big thing about what separates these tiers is consistency in what they do. And that's a good ball placement for High Stakes, but nobody's able to put that one away. And Qful has to be careful here.
It's tough, right? They looked for the support. They had 2 people there, but they doubled on it. And as Abspector, that's a great shot.
Yup.
I believe Abspector coming into this was your highest rated player in B tier as well. Not necessarily this match, but into this season was your projected number 1, if you will. In terms of MMR cost. And so really making his presence felt. One thing that he does really well is take control and support. You see, if you look at him, you will see that he plays typically very calm, right, controlled, and doesn't really overcomplicate the game. And doing that leads to a lot of control, a lot of support, and a lot of you make things easy for yourself, and that flows in a lot of different ways.
Yep. We are seeing, though, if the high stakes, if they need to make any adjustments, it's looking like early on they need to space out and give themselves a little bit more trust. Because we're seeing a lot of double commits early on. Like we saw it on that goal line for the double, for the high backboard. We saw it on what got them scored on the first time. Saw it what almost got them scored on again. And so I think they need to space out if they want to see some more results here. Like, I mean, yes, you want to space out, but you still want to be around your teammates like this. Max was in a great spot. He didn't necessarily make the touch he was looking for, but
he had the support. He was in theory there, and it was a goal if he took it how he wanted to.
Exactly.
Right. As Max looks for a pass mid, not going to find it. Great demo from Shintox on the counter. Looking for a touch mid, doesn't find it. Great pass out, but nobody there as Q-Fol is a little bit scared to go in there as third. Kind of like I was talking about, right, with Keyless, the way that he just pushed up his third and scored for the game winner. I think there's a direct contrast to how Q-Fol was a little bit worried about going in his last. Maybe it's a lack of confidence or a not wanting to commit his third. Typically is as Max. That's a great flick to find the back of the net.
Just
but
capitalizing on a low boost, high stakes here.
And
Shintox
another
has to
double
bite
commit.
hard, and Q-Fol isn't quite able to read that one.
So if they had that support, that's not a goal, right? If there wasn't a double commit on that, and one of them was behind, one forces the flick, one cleans up the flick.
Yep.
And so again, in the name of the game, for offense and defense, is going to be how quickly can your second man get there? How quickly do you have that support?
Ooh, and how quickly can we recover from missing the ball? This is going to be very important. Because we have seen quite a few whiffs from high stakes coming out early today. Not excited to see that. I want my boys locked in, but they can make it happen.
And I think it's a panic thing, right? So as you said, it's stream jitters usually in game one are kind of a thing, and with the mistakes that are happening, they seem kind of panic related, which could very easily be those stream jitters. And I think if those get cleaned up a little bit, this game is tied, right? It's super close. So it seems like Eggs is on. They have the upper hand right now. But if high stakes is able to settle in, get a little bit more comfortable, and play their game, I think this is far from over.
Oh yeah, we've got a whole rest of the series to play. This is the only game one. But it will be game number 1 to the Eggs.
Tony, what do you think about telling one of the fourth men to get out of the lobby so I could hop in?
You should be able to hop in right now.
But
Yeah. Run. There you are.
Word.
Maybe get a different perspective in there.
Well, it's also I don't have game audio.
Okay.
And I like to be able to check stats mid game and all the other stuff. Talk about shots. Because again, right? So that game, 8 shots to 6. Although it's a 3-1 scoreline, in terms of pressure, very, very even. But I think you see this level of support also shown in the stat line. Whereas, how do you like your Eggs? 3 goals and 3 assists, right? So you see that all of their goals are coming as a team. And as a contrast, like I said, you can score. You can win a game. You can get a goal off of solo plays, but that's not going to win you a series. And so Shintox, with that outplay on the ground, right? That was phenomenal. Created it themselves. Was a great capitalization. But that's not consistent. You're not going to score 3 of those. You're not going to score 4 of those in one game. Right, and so you have to get these team plays going.
Yep, and going into game number 2, hopefully they do kind of settle those nerves as High Stakes was playing a little bit, you know. I mean, I'm glad to see that right off the gate. We've got a team play from High Stakes to open up hot. That was a great, like, literally picture perfect of like what he did last series. Control the touch, bang it up, get the 50, and then just go for the demo and continue his play. And Q-Fuel's there, lightning quick on the support to being
phenomenal. Right, that's such a different thing than we saw from all of game 1 from them. You see the extension out front, having a second man, and it's just beautifully done, and they're rewarded for it. And so another thing worth mentioning is that Shintox has gotten a number of outplays already. and it's
Ooh, spec,
spectacular.
finding that angle.
Taking some great control. Apparently, this commentary sucks. That's unlucky. I will say I am not a caster that frequently, but we are out here doing our best. If you want to donate money to the league to pay for casters, we would all be super down. That said, until we can afford casters, you are going to be stuck with people like us. So,
Oh no!
unfortunately,
Oh,
that's going to be a thing. But so right away, support diff. Right. Nobody goes for it on the blue team. Somebody goes for it on the orange team, and it's a goal.
That's just unlucky there. Like Eric had the shot lined up, and it wasn't super threatening. But if you miss twice in a row on the goal line, you know there's only so much you can do. We will see again. Eggs are just here with the pressure. They are upset that they got scored on in the first minute after that like banger opener, and said no, thank you. I'm here to give you a dose of reality.
Yeah, they're cooking.
This is what you gotta step it up.
Bang. Yeah, I mean,
pressure's insane.
it is. They're just always there to follow up their plays, right? So the other side of support is that if your first man doesn't control the ball, you have nothing to support.
Yep.
Right? If you're just banging it around, you can never be in a position to follow it up. Oh my goodness gracious.
The backboard.
And Coolner finds a full field pinch off the backboard, and it's going to be, I guess that counts as support. Great shot from Coolner. Nobody was there for how do you like your eggs? And high stakes going to pick up a second one. I will say, again, so going back to that control, right? That's what Shintox has done time and time again. When his plays have led to goals, he takes a great control touch, takes a great 50, and that allows the support player to get there in time. It allows them to have time to push up, as he's there as a support this time, not going to find the back of the net though. And it's I want us to kind of highlight that going forward and really seeing what these players have success with.
Oh yeah, I mean we're seeing like I wish I could see it a little bit more out of Coolner, like to set up that play that was threatening. He slams it backboard in a one-on-one. Ooh, Q-Full almost finding that angle. But like if he took half of like a quarter of a field just to like
one small control touch first.
Exactly.
It's
like
the equivalent in soccer. If someone passes you the ball, right, instead of just one tapping it, just take one touch with your foot, control it, and then make that pass, right? It's the equivalent of in basketball, taking one dribble, making that pass, letting the defense come in for a moment, and then committing to that space.
Q-Full not getting the read he wanted, and then the 50 doesn't quite happen, and Shintox is wide looking for that pass. Like, great offensive vision, but there is no defense there. And he's just going to get a freebie here, and that could be disastrous for high stakes here. I see a lot of the ball speed is being hit so hard back and forth, and we need to see them kind of continue their possession game. We're not seeing it happen. It's just been a lot of like, all right, I'm just gonna bang it. I'm just gonna bang it. Turn and bang and go and swap. And now you go. Now me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The name of the game is control into support. And right now, if they can't control, they can't support. And that's why you're seeing nothing working for them, right?
Yep.
That's, I think, the biggest difference on how Eggs are able to have such a relentless attack over and over. Eric with a great aerial challenge. But you see Shintox is doing it, right? That's a great control into a 50, and now he should have some support. But unfortunately, his teammates double commit again. Whereas if one man were able to stay back, get that follow, I think that was actually a goal for them.
Oh yeah, especially with that demo, they were there for it. They had the vision there, but man, they cannot put these shots away.
There's a lot of spec glazing going on in our chat, and I was gonna roast it, but honestly, if
he's kind of earning it, he's kind of earning it right now.
Yeah. That said, shout out Eric right now. 3 minutes into the game, has 3 goals and 2 assists.
Sheesh.
So if you want to talk about someone who's facilitating, it doesn't really get much better than that.
Dude, it's funny. All this, I have to play my match today. Ooh, banger. Eric again.
Eric has his hand in
4 for 4, brother.
Yeah.
He has
a 420 on the scoreboard with 4 goals, 2 assists, and 0 saves. Gotta give that a shout.
That's wild. He's having a great game. At least we've avoided the Brazil, but we might have our plane tickets going to a little city in Spain if they can't clean this up. But yeah, no, it's funny that like I love like talking on stream about like just like what players are working on and like how it's working and stuff like that while we're going through the matches, because that also sets like me up like as I have a match later today, and like I'll carry things we talk about on stream into my matches. So like I'm definitely gonna be thinking a lot about that, because I'll have my match at like 4 p.m. So like probably like an hour after stream I'll be.
I mean, Darty, I think you're an awesome player, but I think one of the things that you can get lost in is the pace of play a little bit. So I think if same way that we're talking about some of these players just taking a little bit more control, as you see a great pass out from Abspec into Maxi, as Eric no longer has 100% goal participation, only 6 for 7. But I think if you're able to get kind of this one control touch that we're talking about, and that doesn't necessarily mean catching it, right?
Yeah.
But like if there's someone pushing you, if you roll it to the right and then get the bang instead of just playing the momentum, I think that's like the main thing separating you from being an S tier player this second.
All right, sweet.
Or like before the season.
If I get a sweep today, I'll be sure to ping you.
Well, just regardless of how it goes, if I want you to kind of think about that and then toss me a message after your series. I don't care if you win, I don't care if you lose, but
of course.
I'm interested to see what your feelings are and how you feel about your gameplay with those things in mind.
Yeah, and that's an interesting kind of way to approach it, and I'm definitely going to implement that. How Paco, in particular for me, we're kind of going off topic here, but how Paco had kind of like told me something that he wanted me to implement was like not wasting my momentum and just continuing things through.
He is so good at that, by the way.
Yeah.
Like he is. I think
we're in
what,
Barcelona, fellas. We have run away from this game.
We'll get back to the.
We'll check back in game number 3.
Yeah. But I think so Paco's an incredible player, right? He has been for a very long time. But I think it's easy to get lost in his mechanics, but what he does that is so impressive and that separates him from someone like myself as a player is that he is so good at that momentum conservation, right? If he has 20 boost and a full field and you have 20 boost in a full field, he will make his 20 boost seem like 80, right? He is able to. And it's with all of the movements. Nothing kills it, right? And when he goes on the ceiling, right, he continues that forward momentum. It doesn't die. And so he takes, when we talk about taking control, he controls it with the perfect conservation of momentum. And that's where you see this really high level and fast, continuous play turn into these crazy recoveries, right? Is because it's not about executing a mechanic, it's about going to space and using the space as fast as possible.
Yeah, 100%. But like to implement that, as far as like he's right, he's always right as far as like, oh, you need to do this. But how do you implement that on like a player level? Just don't get lost in the play.
Yeah, who is wipeless? That's the real question.
Who's their glazer?
He's not even a glazer.
Abspector's #1 fan.
He's just telling me that I'm a yapper and bad at casting.
That's crazy.
But he's also told me that he loves me. So he said I love Rob. So I don't know what's going on here, but I am a yapper, and
that's okay.
We're yapping our way to a title.
Oh, that's a big pass. This Shintox, but doesn't quite find each other. And now the nerves are on here for high stakes. You know it's there. You just got Barcelona. You're in game 3. And you know you have... This is a must-win series. That's a good demo for Cool Nerd. Abspect with the possession there is going to try and fend off all the people. But
first game?
What's up? It's scoreless first game?
Yeah.
Was it scoreless? I don't remember.
Do you have auto uploading on?
I do. You can check that while I keep things kind of focused on the game here. So, High Stakes is trying to make that happen. They have a bunch of pressure on them. It's going to be very hard mentally for them on this game if they can't... and I'm really worried for them kind of in week 10 even. Because like if high stakes wants to make playoffs, we got to get all the points we can to make it happen and take that 4th slot. It would be a snipe.
Well then, Darty, it's a reverse sweep is more points than winning a series
That's true.
3-1.
That's
so
true.
maybe they just lost that game on purpose, lulled them into a false sense of security to pick up the 7 instead of the 6.
Ooh, I'm with it. Oh no.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe.
Worth noting, by the way, that last game where they lost 8-2,
Yep.
they only I say only, right? But they only give up 11 shots. So when you talk about giving up 8 goals, as far as like pressure goes, 11 shots is super winnable, right? We saw in S tier today a game go 3-2, 3 minutes into OT, and a team had 15 saves.
Yep.
So 11 shots.
big
Oh, it's a
bang.
great bang from Cool Nerd. He's
Ooh,
quite
big
gonna put it
save
back.
from Max. No psycho to his name.
But they, despite that scoreline, the pressure difference wasn't actually. What I'm getting at is if you're looking for high stakes to win,
Yeah.
if you're a high stakes fan, there is hope there. They didn't
Yeah.
just concede 50 shots to none, right?
Yeah.
They got outshot 11-4, and if they want to play this counterattacking play style that they almost had a goal off of there with Cool Nerd, right? It's super valid, but they can't. They just are going to have to start getting some of these
Ooh.
saves. And I think what they're
Ball
doing,
movement
right?
here is so good from Eggs.
Well, their third also keeps diving the corner.
Yeah.
Is the problem, right? Because Abspec is going to get that pass off backboard no matter what. And if Cool Nerd is able to wait for that one touch, because what's the safest part of the field for your own team, right? Your own corner. And so if you just let the ball stay there, Maxi misses the ball because he tried to clear it out of the corner for no reason, right?
Yep.
If he just let that ball come to him, then it's completely safe and a super easy bang. And I think that's where you find the third man on high stakes continuously overcommitting in that one spot, really, really punishing them.
They have the I love it. I see it, and it's fun to see. Like I see like high stakes have the vision for the offense, but the execution isn't there for them, and that's coming down to a lot of like where their support is at, and their support a lot of times is just either too close, too in the play, too in the momentum of the game, like
going too fast.
It's very random where their support is between plays, and just like 1-2 touches around a player can set things up to be really dangerous, and then like small miscommunication like that bump your teammate off the play and doesn't quite go the way you want it to, and it's like, man, to lock back in, you got a minute and a half, and this is a do or die.
Yeah, you see a lot of panic from them, right? A lot of these touches are just bangs with not a lot of purpose, right? Is where if they're able to get these control touches, that one first control that lets your teammate help you, a lot of these would be finding so much success, right? But for this last minute and a half, I want to really draw attention to it, right? So Q-Fold takes a great control touch, and I think what you're going to see is he's going to have, first of all, great control leads to a great play, but there was no third, so the support wasn't there. Right, and so
Oh, and 1-2 bumperoo
Unlucky.
shot on net.
Yeah.
One more. There's gonna jump and be a shot here. Spec not able to put that one away. Eric looking for more. Shintox pops it up. Cool Nerd's gonna have the ball after spending all his boost to do something. I'm not sure what it was. And now it's just on this goal line. It's sitting in the goal box, but nobody's able to put this away. Put this
great
up or
control
out.
from Q-Fold. I will say, since maybe I was missing it earlier, but Q-Fold's also doing a really good job of taking control
Better go
now.
Find another.
Man, this team is relentless pressure-wise,
yeah.
dude. That's 14 shots to 1 right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I hate to bring it back to it, but it's control, right? Right there, you see high stakes bang the ball off their own backboard instead of hit it to the safe spot in the corner or get a control touch, and they continue to invite the pressure, right? Like that touch from Shintox back mid kind of invites a shot.
Yep.
And it's if they are able to get a great shot from Cool Nerd, right? If they're able to get this ball out with a little bit of control, then this series looks so differently. But they've just kind of been pinned in their own half and not been able to get any of the control, any of the safety, and it's been a little bit tough for them because of that.
They've all been a bit boostless. They've all been kind of just like there, like down, trying to support each other. But it's like you look at the support here. This is Qful's done a great job here in this series, in particular, trying to make things happen in this last minute.
Oh my
Cool
goodness.
Nerd.
Coolner
Puts
gets
that one
2 for
away.
himself in like 15 seconds,
Okay.
and this series
Chat.
might not be over.
Chat. Is this happening?
OT for content?
OT
do
for
we ask
content?
him to? Should we type it in chat?
No, don't type.
Surely not. I'm joking.
I've come back.
I'm
from
obviously
worse.
not going to type that in chat. I think it would be hilarious. As Qful might have an opportunity. Doesn't Shintox is going to keep it up. He has a full field of space. Cool Nerd is going to take the boost, gets it up, gets it mid. It's going to be shootable, and Qful isn't able to find it.
No.
Oh no! And ultimately, again,
No,
you
the
see the
panic.
support bite him
No.
as Qful on the same side of the field as the pass, kind of ball watching as opposed to getting across.
No.
Thinking about where that pass is going to be coming, and it was there. They had it. They had the opportunity to force a game 4 to bring some momentum, but high stakes not able to close it out.
Ice.
Cool Nerd with a legacy
Damn.
of 45 seconds, surely. This is going in the
That's-
Grindhouse Hall of Fame.
Oh,
if he was
no.
able to win that game for them, I'm sure that we would see that clip for years to come.
Bro, we were about to diverge from the timeline.
Yeah.
Like that was good. Lord, if we had went to game 4,
That would have
high
been
stakes
like
won the
Drake.
series.
It would have been like Drake winning MVP and championship in his own basketball league that he runs in his house. Would have been like Cool Nerd getting a hat trick in 8 seconds to force OT. Just like, oh yeah, I happen to run the league. Da, 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 da.
Everybody was a paid actor there.
Exactly.
We made that
It's
happen.
scripted. It's so scripted.
But we're
What do
gonna
we
see.
got on the docket for the last one?
For that, let's go ahead and recap the matches we've seen so far today. We have first up, we had the Cosmos versus Funky Monkeys S tier match. That was a sweep for the Cosmos. Zach Wagon showing off all 5 gears that he had to make some magic happen in that 3-0. He was definitely the MVP of that series. And then we follow that up with How Do You Like Your Eggs versus High Stakes' B tier. It was a sweep, but that game 3 was wild.
Yeah, they almost had one of the craziest comebacks I've maybe ever seen. So that was crazy to come in and to be able to almost see greatness happen, almost have the Cool Nerd legacy moment.
You heard me scream because I was like, my content.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's a super high pressure situation. I could see probably 80% of players missing that shot. If they take that same thing,
more.
yeah, like you have to have nerves of steel to make that happen.
Not only that, I think what it is you have to have so much trust in your team.
Yep.
Right, because if for Qful to be there in a spot where he could score that, he needed to commit to letting Cool Nerd drop the ball.
Yep.
Like he needed to be okay with. He couldn't help him. Right. Cool Nerd needed to be the one, or it was Shintox, whichever one.
Yep.
Right. He needed to say those guys are gonna have to get the pass, and I'm gonna have to get the shot.
Yep.
And if he was able to commit to his role in that moment, then they would have executed. So it's definitely a phenomenal learning experience, and I think it illustrates something that they could work on at a perfectly simple light. And I mean, they could easily take that and improve a ton from it, because that one concept is a whole different that series.
Well, we'll have to see how they do in week 10. But our last matchup for today, and before we go, we'll go over a playoff format update. Just have an update for you guys on some of the scheduling things, and just to clarify how things are going to work for that. We're going to talk about that. But coming up now, we're going to go to a short break. It's going to be about like 3-ish minutes to get the teams ready and things like that. Farmers Only versus Team XP in the A tier to kick us off when we come back. But we will be right back with you guys in about 3-ish minutes. See you then. All right, we are back, and we are just getting the players together here. It looks like we've got XV here. They're ready to go, but we are waiting on the farmers to show up here. I'm going to go ahead and spam them of like, hey, get in the lobby. But farmers XV A tier, what are we looking forward to in sort of this last series of the day here?
How are they doing? Do you know where they are within A tier?
I think farmers is no. Eggs is number 1. High stakes is number 2. I'll have to double check that about some of the other placings, but they've been. I would think that they're performing well. Days and AJ.
Farmers A tier. See, that's what I was thinking. And this is what I thought. They're doing not well. They have 12 points on the season, but Days and AJ really stand out to me as excellent players. And so, actually, this is a competition between currently your number 4 and number 6 teams, I believe. And so, when it comes to top 4 making playoffs, hint on what we're going to discuss shortly here. This is a really, really big matchup in the grand scheme of things. Whichever one of these teams ends up winning this gives themselves a much, much better chance to make playoffs.
Oh yeah. And all right, it looks
more
like
so than a typical match.
We do have our teams ready to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our final match for today. We've got Farmers versus Team XV. Taking up the pitch today for the Farmers, we've got Days, Scat, AJ, and Mr. Rockgut taking up the field against Team XV's Cypher, Kiriko, Smite, and Thick Salsa. Going into this match, like he said, very important for both teams from a playoff standpoint, from a division playoff, and from a overall standoff, like standing playoff important match. But we're about to get right into it.
Take us away, Darty.
Take us away. I mean, I'm gonna let the animation play.
Perfect.
I worked a long time on these animations.
Hey, I'm super down with it.
And I'm gonna make sure I spend all my time that I have possible to glaze these animations up. All right, and here we go. Oopsies, I didn't change the overlay. That was the one thing I forgot to do. So
no worries.
We'll change that up. You go ahead and yap for me real quick so I can get that updated.
All right, so right away you're gonna see. I'm already forgetting which team is which.
You can hold 10.
XV and Farmers. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so right away you're gonna see Farmers have a little bit of pressure. Days taking it away in the midfield, gets a 50, almost has a shot off of it. Rockgut not gonna find it, and AJ is AJ Toby Keith? Those are different people.
Toby Keith is Scat.
Okay, nice. So AJ's not going to be in the game for him. So as almost a crazy redirect from Days, not going to find the bottom of the net. Looks for a demo, finds it. Toby Keith looking for a shot, backboard, follow up from Rot, and that's going to be a great support. Name of the day, word of the day again for you. And Farmers are going to take an early 1-goal lead 45 seconds into this. Double commit coming off from XV, not quite what you're looking for there. One player goes, one goes backboard to support, and it's a fairly standard clear if we're really working as a team. So Smite and XV looking to really come back right away, apply some pressure of their own. Don't want to let this go for too long. Looks for a pass mid. Cypher was playing the ball, not going to find it. Smite keeps it in, could be threatening. Nobody there for the shot though. Thick Salsa does keep it in. Smite gets a 50, gets by him. Rocket now has the ball in the orange team's corner, looks to create, has a pass mid, shut down quickly though. Could be support from Farmers, nobody there.
And now we're going to take this possession around. Now XV is going to try and find that forward. And one thing I did kind of want to talk about as far as like these teams and like the things that we kind of say on stream, because some other people like say like, oh, that's a wild comment, or like, why are you guys coaching so much like wild like yapping in stream? It's like one thing that I think is kind of unique about a little crossbar down about like this community in particular that I've noticed a lot is like, if you tell them something, even if it's like kind of like an offhand comment like we've been doing in our commentary, they will take that feedback and they will implement it. it's really, really interesting. We've seen it a ton over the course of the actual like 3v3 league. I've seen people like they've told me like, hey, I've gotten so much better at threes because of this, and like some of the thing, one of the comments that you pointed out on stream, like improved me a ton type thing. So like
That's awesome.
that's one thing I'm like super glad to be able to facilitate. And even if we get those high stakes matches like we did
No pun intended.
just now, people do care, people do see these things, and it's really cool that we get to facilitate those kind of things. So enough glazing stream. We're back into our last matchup of the day, and it looks like Farmers are back to put it in the net again.
Yeah, so right now, I believe Farmers are in last for A tier.
Which honestly surprises me a little bit.
I agree with that. And what's really interesting is that they're looking incredible.
Yeah.
Right, so they're
yeah.
not someone who you're going to be wanting to see, even if they end up as a 4 seed. If they squeeze into these playoffs, this is not a team that you're going to want to catch. I'm getting 2008 New York Giants vibes, ending the Patriots' perfect season, and so they look really, really good to start out. Great support, great demo. I mean, they are a little bit low boost, but still applying pressure regardless. Yeah.
We got Rock Gut looking to play that third man there, but chasing him down. People are coming for these. Man, we have had a lot of demos this game, and people are coming for these superlative stats that we have up on the data tool, because we are seeing a lot of demos. And demos, we have about like 4 people all contending for that like top 3 spot. It's within like 3 or 4 demos that like 5 people are looking for. But I love to see it, because like, I mean, it's funny, the high stakes A tier has like the most amount of demos and is the most demo heavy team in the entire league, where it's like Chow is somewhere above on the A tier, is somewhere above like north of 80 demos for the league so far. And then it's
That's
like
ridiculous.
I'm up there in 3rd place, like somewhere north of 50, and it's like you've got an extremely high pressure team, like 2 of the highest demoing players, and I love to see it when like teams do get aggressive, because like a demo is part of the game, and it creates a lot of pressure if you get removed in a key point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 3 seconds is a long time to be out of the play, and then if you include that, like it takes a second or 2 to get back into the play, and a lot of people just by default turn for corner boost immediately, so you can add another 2 seconds to that. You're talking about 5, 6, 7 seconds. You're removing a player from the field, right, or from being relevant, and that is a lot more valuable than people realize.
Ooh, Daze is looking to do it all. Can he land and get one more? Ooh,
Oh my
Smite's with a
goodness.
little mistouch, but Rot will be there to tackle it. But a good 50 from Smite will turn this around, and he will try and break that upfield. But Mr. Toby Keith gonna bring that one away and around town, find some time for his teammates.
Yeah, again, you're seeing really good control coming out from Farmers, right? As Toby kind of jinxes me.
As it's almost like we talked about that on stream, and then they listened, and then they tried to implement it.
Yeah, I mean that'd be neat if that were what happened. As Smite looks to get a shot, doesn't quite find it. Daze taking great control over to the corner. Oh, he's gonna pogo off the wall, looking for a follow. Almost a great recovery, but now full boost on the ball again. Gets a great control to almost a control pinch, if you will, right? Making sure that he takes the ball to space, is able to follow it. And over you see this Farmers team able to shut down everything that XV is looking to do.
Oh, yeah.
Except for that. But there's no threat. Ball ends up hitting the ground. And, I mean, they're going to take game 1. They looked really solid throughout, but second half looked a lot closer to me than the first half of that did.
Oh, it did. Definitely the momentum shifted from like a very Farmers only take things fast and aggressive early to a much more balanced back and forth. You know, as people weren't able to get as much free time on here to make things happen, but we will go ahead and get into the second match here shortly, as soon as I go ahead and change the funny map to Forbidden Temple here, and I'm readied up. And then
Worth noting, right, Farmers, 3 goals, 3 assists. Right? Same way that last series winner started the first game was the exact same way. 3 goals, 3 assists, coming out hot, applying pressure as a team, as a unit, and I think that we're going to see that trend continue. Now the question is, can XV match that? Right? Because we've seen Farmers do it now. It's just how they play, it seems, as their default. Now as XV, can you apply pressure to make that uncomfortable? Can you apply pressure to make that stop happening? And then can you get your own control and capitalize on the space that you create?
Oh, yeah. I think both teams are capable of making the necessary adjustments that they need to. Oh, this is a good start-off play here as Daze gets it around too. This will be Smite with a free ball to kind of make things happen. But we'll see that kind of fizzle out, and we'll see XV looking for, or Farmers looking for a good opportunity here. But pace of play and consistency to keep things moving are very important for your offensive pressure. We're seeing that fizzle out just a little bit. We've seen 2 opportunities here real quick to try and make a play happen, but nothing quite came of it so far. We are early in the match though, but a
great
lucky
demo.
bump, no support. Not able to find that net there. Big bang. Oh yeah, if anybody in chat does know for some reason how to do those end of match stats, that is something I'm looking to implement. So if you have anything that would be useful for that, let me know. Because like that's one thing that Rob's been doing very well, a very good job on. It's just like he wants to be in the match so you can see the end of game stats. And I would want to be able to show that to you guys as well. But the methods I've tried so far usually crash my Rocket League because I'm not playing in the match. So if anybody has any ideas for that, I am open to hearing them. Because like
I can talk to someone about that, because the RSC production people, I'm on media committee for them, and they have a way to do it. So I'm sure that I can just reach out to one of the producers and get an answer for you. Yeah, just great 50 from Daze.
Oh my.
Toss me a DM after this series to remind me
Gotcha.
after the stream. And great control from Salsa here in the corner. Looks to get a pass mid, not to find it. Had a full field hinge top corner.
Oh, Cypher
Great
with
save
the
from
save.
Cypher. Toss the ball mid. Cypher now puts it back into safety in the corner. Salsa looking for some control. Doesn't quite have it. I mean, you're looking at, they just look a little panicky right now, right? On XP, where they're jumping at a lot of things they don't need to be. They're banging a lot of things they don't need to be. I mean, there's a little bit more panic, right? On a double commit, bumping your own teammate, and that's going to find the back of the net. And so that's another example, right, of a goal that they've conceded that they didn't even get outplayed.
Yep.
Right. Farmers didn't necessarily earn that goal. They played smart. They played consistent. They let them make their own mistakes and capitalized at a really high level.
All right. I was just confirming with other people, other things. But yeah, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a lull in the play here. Take some time, slow things down, not get obsessed with banging the ball.
This is game 2, right?
Yeah, this is game 2. We're not incorrect here. We are on Forbidden Temple. I do have the RLCS match rotation. Oh, I need to get the 7 game match rotation. I think I have that in my DMs with Jonk. He's done a lot of work with me.
Barrel?
Huh?
For Barrel?
You can input that into Barrel?
For which, it depends on, I might be incorrect about what you're talking about.
Oh, just like the match, like, settings of like, hey, this is on Forbidden Temple.
I don't know. I don't know if you can do that part.
That would be insane. I don't know how he would have implemented that.
Maybe they didn't. I thought you were talking about, never mind. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Blaze takes control in the corner. Keeps momentum on the way out. Could be receiving a pass here. Cypher shuts it down. Could be going for a double tap. Has it, but doesn't quite have the angle. As the double commit follows through. And Farmers might be able to get something on the counter here. Raka takes it over, gets a touch in the corner, and unfortunately not able to get boost or the ball, and that attack's going to fizzle out pretty quick. Cypher looking to just turn it completely back on its head. Daze, not the touch he's looking for. Salsa there to capitalize. And now, I mean, it's a 1-1 ball game, and I would argue that neither team created the goal they scored off of.
Yep. Agreed.
Like,
It's been
so-
good punishes, but
Yeah.
it's not. This is nice. Like both teams just trying to play their game, but we're not seeing the outplay that I know these players can make.
Still worth noting, right? You see Farmers on the blue side out shooting XV right now 8-3. So 1-1, but oh my goodness,
Oh,
as a
Days.
Doom Days touch comes in, phenomenal play, right? Getting up here, applying pressure, understanding that he still has
touch.
space, the recovery, seeing where the shot is open, being able to get there quickly, and providing his own support. I mean, that's what you're looking for when you're talking about the way to win a series, right? We talked about it prior. It's those single plays. The way it's the when you need a goal, you have to be able to create yourself.
Yep.
You have to not give up. You have to use your team, right, for the majority of it. But when it comes down to 45 seconds left, 1 minute left, all it takes sometimes is one beat by yourself, by your
Yep.
team, somebody there, and Daze does just a tremendous job of closing it out for himself.
And we're seeing good pressure continued for the Farmers. But it's been a lot of close balls. Like they're trying to feed them through these corners or feed them off the backboard, and XV is just kind of reading them there, and they weren't able to capitalize there again. Like Day's phenomenal outplay through that corner, but that's a big thing they gotta like be concerned about is every play going through the corner now.
Yeah.
Director Cam having a little bit of a spaz there, but
Oh my goodness,
Cypher
great touch from
clutching
Cypher.
up in the countdown.
He went for something very similar about 10-15 seconds before, right? Wasn't able to find it on target, but got the beat to maintain pressure. This time says he's going to do it himself, puts it top corner, and I mean gives himself a goal, gives his team an overtime or a potential here if his teammate's able to get a
on
shot.
target,
That might be
smite
in.
to
Rot
Rot.
shuts it
Big
down. It's
save.
going to be OT, and both of this game has started to pick up, right? We were talking about how neither of the goals from either team were earned, and those are both followed up by great outplays and great support. So both of these teams starting to really fire on all cylinders, create their own offense, starting to warm up. Maybe these stream jitters are starting to die down a bit, and I gotta say I'm really excited to see how not only this game goes, but how the offense continues to evolve as the series goes forward.
Oh yeah, no, please give me a series here. We've had 2 sweeps for this day so far. As much as like we like sweeps, if you're like one of the players on the teams receiving the points from the sweep, I want to see longer. I want to see more Rocket League.
And also worth noting that if you are XV, this oh my goodness,
Oh.
that might just be a goal.
From downtown.
You're gonna find the net, and there's no second man.
It's the second man.
Also
he's
still
gonna take
here
some
though,
time.
keeping the pressure.
Off the backboard,
He's gonna
looking for the double.
Not
Support.
gonna find
Not
the
there.
shot.
Ah!
So, if you're XV, this isn't necessarily a must-win game, but a reverse sweep is a hell of a lot harder to win than a 1-1 series.
Yep.
As Smite not able to find a touch there, saved by the lack of second man again from either team. But I mean, if they lose this game, especially once they brought it back to OT with 2 seconds left, like it's gonna be more like
Hard mentally.
very difficult to stay locked in. It's going to be extremely difficult to try to turn this around. The morale is just going to be. They can come back from it, right? But
Yep.
this is as close to a must-win game as you get without actually having a series depend on it.
Yep. Hard agree. And I think it like even though this is like tense in the overtime, the more time we spend in overtime, it has like both like players are going to calm down a little bit,
Yeah.
but then also they're going to start to panic a lot of it.
Well, it's going to show who actually has, like unironically, who has the ice, right? Who's able to remain calm in the face of pressure? Who's able to execute regardless of situation? It doesn't matter. And I mean, kind of shout out my own guy, right? But Keyless in that OT game, he didn't care that it was overtime. He didn't care that he was third man. He saw his space and he took a shot that a lot of players would be scared to do.
Yep.
And I mean, that's an example of someone having the ice. And I mean, overtime really, really shows what players are built for the moment. And it's, I mean, it's what you play the game for.
Oh yeah. We
As
got
they-
it as much as we got both an example of like what that looks like as far as on the positive side. we also got that on the negative side where
Yeah.
from that high stakes game, like we could be living at a totally different timeline right now.
Yeah, we could.
Based on the results of that match.
The cool nerd legacy moment.
Yeah, exactly.
If it had been fulfilled, as Toby might have a shot here off the crossbar, and again you see a lack of backboard defense, right? That could have been an easy cleanup, but instead the pressure still remains, and a good touch from Cypher, looking for a reset, looking for a 50 off of it, has neither, and now he's going to be 0 boost in the corner. Might be a while till he gets back. If you're the blue team, this could be a moment to get a bunch of pressure. Big Bang coming through. Salsa shuts it down. That might be on target. And Daze not able to get the touch, but saved by the crossbar again.
It's just back and forth. Ooh, that's a bang. Rot's there, though. Farmer's going to be taking that possession there. Unfortunately, heavy touch out will meet that quickly with a challenge. And Daze
and you're seeing
down in the corner.
You're seeing why these control touches are so important, and no backboard defense leaves it open again. Gonna be a touch.
Cypher.
Oh, and I mean that's just a lack of backboard, right? You look at this play, it's there's so much time before Salsa gets that touch. If someone from Farmers is able to rotate instead of into net, right, just onto the backboard across, all you got to do is drive at that single jump, and it's all the way out of there for a counterattack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hell of a lot easier said than done. But man, it feels a little bit silly if you're Farmers to lose a game which you outshoot the other team 14-9. You shot 2 for 14 and you lose because someone forgot to rotate backboard. Right? Like that's got to be so frustrating.
They did have so many opportunities to do so though, and correct that.
Yeah.
And realize
but
that.
I mean, 14 shots, 2 goals, and the opposing team had only 6 saves.
Yep.
Right? So what happened to the other 6 shots? It's crossbar, it's post.
Yep.
It's usually what that means is that there needs to be a little bit more composure on our shooting. It means that there were a couple shots that where players were going for double taps, right? Where players were going for specific slots, where they were just banging the ball in the net. If there's a little bit more intent, if there's a little bit more purpose behind those, okay, I have space. Let me take time on this double tap to get the angle that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have space. Let me get one control touch and then shoot it. You'll see, though, maybe you won't have 14 shots. Maybe you'll have 10, right? But you'll score an extra 1 or 2 goals. And I think that's what I'm going to be looking for out of Farmers. Are they able to stay composed on the offensive end? Or are they going to continue to just pepper the net?
Yep. Oh, man. We're loving it. We finally have a series that's going to go to at least game number 4. We've done it, chat. We don't have a sweep. But coming out of this game, I think we'll see a little bit more. This is a good reset. Like, yeah, that OT kind of sucks to lose, but this is a good opportunity for Farmers to reset and start to play their game again, because we started to see continuous mistakes there, as like they were just giving that backboard for free one after another. They had a good second to chat real quick after that match. Hopefully one of the things that they thought about was like, oh yeah, we're giving up a lot of that backboard, and like they noticed that the shooting was there, and they're trying to make those adjustments there. Ooh,
I think great shot from Smite. My X factor for this game is going to be, I think, so Thick Salsa had a bunch of he created for himself at a really high level last game, but wasn't quite able to capitalize. He tossed it backboard for a couple double taps. He got a couple good flicks, right? And I think that if Thick Salsa is able to stay, so we were talking about composure, right? There were a few double taps and a few balls that he would jump a little early for, or rotate a little bit much, or boost a little bit much, right? If Thick is able to slow these things down just a little bit, if he's able to stay composed on these, I think that XV, is it XV? Yeah, yep. XV would have had 2 or 3 more goals, because it was like at that level of which he's creating. Like his mechanics and the way that he capitalizes on space are really impressive. As Smite is saying that he's the X factor of this one. First that shot top corner, and then great support from him, takes the space on the backboard, really, really nice double, puts it in the back of the net, and I mean, I'll eat my words on X Factor, but still something to keep keep an eye for Salsa.
Yeah, somebody clip that real quick for me.
Well, I mean, also, so building off of that, then, if Smite's going to be playing like that, if Salsa can do the things that I'm talking about, then this team looks really good on offense.
Oh yeah.
As Days with a great beat, not able to have a second man. And, I mean, if you're Farmers, you went from having 14 shots and all the pressure to now you're down 2-0, and this is the first time all series where they've been really playing from behind. So, I mean, I'm curious to see if it's going to instill a little bit of panic in them and make them, you know, get off their rocker.
Sorry, I was just checking in with my team there, as we're going to be playing in about an hour and a half here, but I will have some time to reset. But,
And it's also with a beat. Days gets one touch. Cypher is going to keep this in. And so Rocka with some great backboard defense.
There we go.
So
See?
one team's starting to really address that.
Adjustments easily. Like I said, had that second to kind of think about, like, in between games, what do we got to do, boys? Ooh, that's a good possession there.
Great
Days not
control
biting on the
from Dave.
fake. Smite will have this one through the
Smite
corner.
looks for a touch mid. Salsa is going to be there, but that's that jumping early that I was talking about. Cypher with a great pass in.
What a
and Smite
read.
able to get the double. Really legacy game from Smite, I got to say. But I don't think that was an intentional fake from Salsa. But I think, I mean, it's a great play coming out from both of them. Cypher does an incredible job keeping the ball in, and Smite does an incredible job reading it, staying a part of the play.
Yep. Now off the kickoff, this will be Team XV threatening again. They had that possession there, but now we will be in the counterattack there.
Rock.
Big bang from Rot, but we'll have to slow down here in the corner as they kind of wait to see what happens. But a little bit of a mistouch, bit heavy on there. We'll put this one out in a big center there. No support in the waiting, but it does catch Farmers awkward here, and they aren't quite able to get that possession. And so XV will
Mike gets a
maintain
beat.
that.
Salsa could be there. Oh,
It's
man.
weak.
And, I mean,
Unlucky.
I feel like that's another one, right? Just a little bit rushed. Like this team, if Salsa's able to get around these and be the kind of just a sniper with the way that his mechanics and shooting could be, with how it is sometimes. That sounds like really unspecific, but he shows essentially glimpses of just being crazy, right? And I think that if he's able to just calm that down a little bit, like he should not be. He is very good. But if he's able to just be a little bit more relaxed in the game, I think this team is like really, really impressive for an A-tier team.
Oh yeah. Like we need to give Thick Salsa 200 cc's of lo-fi hip hop chill beats to study or relax to.
Yeah.
And then that's his prescription there. As if he puts that on, he's gonna be great.
Absolutely. Either way, clearly executing with what he needs to, right? His team's up 3-0, so despite me talking about things that he could be doing differently, still doing what his team needs him to at a high level, right? So I don't mean to be bringing up, speaking negatively. It's not how any of it is meant. It's purely thinking about how juicy of an upside exists within this player and the car control that they have. As Days is going to look to do it himself, gets one beat, has to get the touch, doesn't take the
double
angle he
commit.
needs to,
Where's
no
the
support
support?
on it. Toby Keith is going to get there, but just a beat late, keeps it in, looking to get one more pass mid off a boost steal, and boost not there, trying to drop it back. Days is going to keep it in. It's got to be now or never. Probably never with 9 seconds left, but after what we saw with Cool Nerd, you never know. As a banger comes in from Keith off the crossbar, and I mean, this
No
is going to be...
boost, nobody there.
If you let it drop...
Game number 3.
You know what they say, if they let it drop, you're dropped. So whoever hit that ball at the ground there, we're going to have a conversation.
And that will be Team XV taking the game. Just one step closer. Securing their dub for their team. Match settings.
What an interesting game. I feel like you really saw that XV getting a couple goals early took Farmers out of their rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
You saw players who were getting a bunch of outplays and control. Maybe it was some heart rate stuff, right? Maybe it was some jitters about, oh my goodness, we just lost this OT. But you saw Days went from having outplay after outplay to control after control and creation after creation to not quite having the impact that he did as arguably the MVP of the first game and a half, right?
Yep.
And so I think if you're farmers, you're looking to get back to playing your game and being comfortable and being a little bit more composed. And if you're XV, you keep the pressure, but you want to make sure that you don't go over the top.
Oh, yeah.
There were a few times that they left themselves exposed at the back. And I think you're going to see farmers look to really capitalize on those this game.
Yeah, just don't get lost in that sauce. It's like from Haikyuu, the thing I'm thinking of is speed is a curse. Like, yeah, you can be fast. Yeah, you can put that pressure on. Yeah, you can do things quickly. But as the game pace increases, the more sloppiness you're going to start to get. Like, that's a perfect opportunity for
Easy
Days.
to see one player at least, right?
Yeah.
And he just missed the ball, and that's due to panic. He's an incredible player. You put him in free play, you put him in a twos lobby. He's never missed that touch in his life. Yeah. And so I think you really see the impact that pressure and both on the field and off the field. Like,
oh
my
man,
goodness, a phenomenal 50 comes through. But you can see the difference that pressure starts to apply on the mental and how that manifests in game.
Oh yeah.
They needed that though, right? Farmers was on the back foot for almost 6 minutes straight. And so getting a goal, it's got to be a sigh of relief.
Oh yeah.
And oh my goodness, as
on the
both players either fake or miss.
That's another thing. We haven't seen any kickoff strats.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, like kickoff strats are non-existent.
Oh, great touch from Cypher. Doesn't quite find the back of the net, but terrifying pressure.
Oh yeah.
As Days is going to just rotate through. Oh, big bump from Cypher. Could be a shot from Smite. Not going to find it. Like Salsa now, this is one of those opportunities I'm talking about. Great job keeping the ball in there, making sure he maintains his high boost. Smite looks for a touch mid. Doesn't have a follow. Days takes control. Cypher with a 50. Rot's going to be there for the support. Does get 50'd himself. Now Toby there for the support. Possession getting recycled a few times. Top mid. Rot for a shot. Not quite there. Toby and Days double commit off the backboard. That's going to be terrifying on the way back. Smite could have something, catching him on the back foot. Goes a little bit slow. Takes control. Pops over one. Doesn't quite have a second man, but great beat on Smite on the first guy.
Oh, and you're already seeing it. Aside from the double commit, I was gonna say, like, farmers composed themselves. They took a breath and just composed themselves. Because it's like they're getting, like, aside from like the double commit there, like if they didn't get too jumpy on that and they kept it like calm, like it was so over for Team XV. And if they can keep that up, this is the farmers we want to see. This is the best farmers will be.
It's the ones that had 20 shots in the first two games, right?
Exactly.
As Rod with a great touch, Smite with an even better defensive save. Get the touch out. Now Cypher's going to have boost and ball in a threatening position. Looks for a double tap, beats one. Doesn't quite have the shot though. And again, I think that's one of those doubles. If he's able to just slow that down by a fraction of a second for himself, he has it. His thick Salsa gets shut down by Days. Smite still keeping the pressure. Gets one touch. Days going to bang it out. No one there for the follow, though. Cypher's going to be able to control. Touches it away from himself. Days almost capitalizes. Toby could have a double. Oh, my goodness. Unable to find it.
And now nobody with boost. Nobody with possession.
Oh, these tight angles. If players are able to just compose themselves for these shots just a little bit better, really taking the space that they have, these offensive possessions, instead of just being pressure, there could be a couple goals by now for both sides.
Wow, it's impressive. I'm loving it.
Right?
These players are so close to greatness. They're so close.
So you're also A tier, right, Darty?
Yep.
Same as these guys?
Yep.
So, oh my goodness, there you see.
Smite.
So I really want to point out the way that Smite took his patience on this double. Watch how slow he goes. Doesn't boost, gets the angle, and just puts himself in the spot and gets the touch. And I think that level of composure is what we've been talking about all day.
Oh yeah.
And that's really on these double taps that are barely missing for both teams. Smite is showing that. I mean, that's the second or third one he's hit, and there's a reason for that. It's the way he approaches the ball. It's the way he takes the ball.
Oh yeah.
And it's as he backflips off of it that time.
It was a little awkward. I'll give him that one. There's not a lot that he was going to get to do with that, and then it does play out quite nicely for him.
Perhaps I should no longer glaze on cast. It seems to not go well when I do.
But what was that comment starting to go towards the I was also on A tier with these players?
You're seeing that where that one control touch and getting around the ball and using that space that we were talking about earlier is really the difference between these plays that find success and not.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the way that teams are able to keep pressure. Like Cypher getting that one control touch right there allows him to force Daze.
Ooh, big
right?
shot from Salsa.
So great fucking shot. But watch as this touch from Cypher, if he bangs that, that's a free clear for Daze. But instead, because he took that one control touch that we were talking about, right? One control and then a follow. You saw Daze had to push in the corner, which took another defender out of the play. So as we were saying, I kind of want to see what happens if you take that small control touch to space.
Yep.
That's a perfect example of how it is being so successful, and you're seeing it on Smite's double taps, and you're seeing it on that pass there, and the way that even Salsa is able to apply pressure on this double. It's all about that first soft touch and then reading the defense tossing to space.
Oh yeah. No, like I see it. I see it exactly. Ooh, my Smite.
Great
Good
angle.
God, these angles these players are pulling out are insane. But
Look how composed he was to this too. Oh my goodness, it was almost a class D. Wish he flipped. That would have been so raw. Great shot, great shot, great angle.
But it's like I'm seeing this, like we've been talking for like what, almost 2 hours now, and it's like I feel like my brain has expanded, and I'm just gonna annihilate anybody I face on the pitch next. And
I mean,
so
that is
excited
the
to get
thing
into
too.
it.
In A tier is where you see a lot of these things really start to come to fruition, but people don't do it every time.
Yeah.
Right. I think what you're seeing is the players who are having a ton of success right now are the ones that do it consistently. So Cypher and Smite, right? On the offensive end, you saw double tap after double tap and mechanical outplay after mechanical outplay. And I think what you see, and the reason that is able to happen, pardon, is the first touch that they get.
Yeah.
They keep it close. They keep it to space where they can dictate either the 50, the follow, the shot, and even in the air, right? They do the same thing. That last double tap that we saw was A, phenomenal, but B, a textbook execution where you throw it to the space and then you go as slow as you possibly can to that. He had so much time, right? The backboard was so free. If the backboard's free, take your damn time. Take 8 seconds to shoot it if you want, right? And a lot of players go, oh my God, I hit it to the backboard. Oh my God, I have to double tap it.
I have to be up.
But yeah, right. The pro would go so fast, but we're not pros.
Yeah.
Right. We're learning how to do these things. And if you have space, you take it. The reason pros go so fast is because they don't have any space because they're playing against pros. And so when we just watched almost nobody for all of our stream matches play any backboard defense.
Yep.
So a note to everybody out there is during your double taps, if you have the space, if it's a free double, A, communicate that to your team. Right, if you see no one backboarded, they're going for a double, free double, free double. But B, I mean, go slow, man. Line it up, treat it like free play, and you'll score 10 times the double taps. It'll look great.
All right. And that was all of our matches for today. Let's go ahead and recap those for you real quick. To start things off, we had that Cosmos versus Funky Monkey S tier match. That was a sweep for the Cosmos. Rob's very happy about it. But yeah, that was how we started things off. Zach Wagon had a phenomenal series to kick things off. And then after that, we had How Do You Like Your Eggs taking up high stakes in the B tier with a crushing loss for high stakes. They were so close to starting to make that comeback happen with almost a 0-second buzzer beater to send us to OT, but didn't quite make it happen. Just off target on that final touch. But then we were wrapping things up with Farmers Only versus Team XV A tier, and a great showing and talking about composure, about support, and positioning from Team XV, showing us how it's done with a 3-1 to clean up the day. So that's all we got in terms of matches, but I wanted to update you guys about the playoff formats. I did have to make some adjustments. We had adjusted some of the dates going forward because Meisner and I can't read, and we realized that We started the playoffs during week 10, so can't have that happen. So we've adjusted all the dates, but to go over the playoff formats for you guys, we're going to be going over the month of July and leading into August for our division and league playoffs. So the division playoffs, this is going to be your top 4 in every division from A, B, C, and S tier. I'm not sure if we're doing coaches. I'll have to check with Meisner on that one, but it'll be seed 1 versus seed 4 in that for each division, and that'll be 8 matches. It's a best of 5, and you guys, if you can't make that stream, we're still accepting replays for that. But for your division championships of a best of 7 between either seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, seed 4, whoever's playing on that July 21st best of 7, that stream will be entirely dedicated to that finals, and that will be the determining of the division champions. Now, the division champions could be any division. It doesn't have to be the people who go to the league playoffs, but this is a way to recognize teams that, hey, if you are one of the lower teams in the league in terms of point standings, but you might have a team that's kind of putting in the work, we want to be able to recognize those teams and those players where we can. So that's going to be the division playoffs on July 14th and the following weekend, July 21st. And then rounding out, we will have the league playoffs. This is the big boy ones, where we will have best of 7 matches accepting replays. This would be 10 matches, as we have like team high stakes versus how do you like your eggs, for example, where every team is going to be a crew battle format, where it's like your C tier plays their C tier, their A tier plays their A tier, and whoever wins in sort of the week to week standard will be winning and advancing in that sense. So that will be coming up for you guys on July 28th, towards the end of the month. We will be accepting replays and picking out a few to go over on stream. We won't have all 10 matches on stream because that would take forever to go through. That's like a 6-hour stream. So we're going to keep things a little bit simpler. Try and keep it to about a 3-hour stream if I can afford it. Might go to 4, not sure exactly, but that's at least the plan for July 28th. And then finally, August 4th. This is where we will crown your league champions. It's going to be a best of 7, all matches. We're going to be showing off the best of the best here. This is what everybody's playing for. You're going to be getting awards. You're going to be getting all the clout. You're going to be able to say, hey, we won the whole thing. So that's the update on the 3v3 League Championship format. And
really quick.
Yeah, what's up?
How exactly? So for the league playoffs, right?
Yep.
Is it that like each? So it would be seed 1 versus seed 4 would be like, I don't how do you like your eggs versus Cosmos or something, yep. And each tier would play each other in a best of 7.
Correct.
Okay. Makes sense. Would coaches matches be best of 7?
That's a great question. I think we might move that to best of 5. Just because it's already a best of 3, that's a little bit more volatile. I'm not sure if we want to do that. We're going to iron out the final details when we're closer to that, but this is at least what you can expect for a majority of the players.
It would be cool to have playoffs for coaches be 3v3.
We'll play with the idea. Play it around, decide it, and we'll make an announcement when we decide the finalities, especially with coaches. Coaches are the only thing that's like not fully decided on how we want to handle it, but everything else is pretty locked in as far as how we want the players to be doing things. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got as far as the Grindhouse 3v3 League Week 9 stream. Rob, do you have anything you want to say before we close it up for the day?
Shout out to everyone who came out and played on stream. This shit is hard. Rocket League's a really, really hard game, and coming out and doing it in front of a bunch of people is even harder. And for a lot of people, it's probably their first, second, third time on stream. It's difficult. If you didn't have the series that you wanted, that's okay. It's a learning experience. You got them next time, and you'll be better next time. So for everything that I said that was not overwhelmingly positive about players and whatnot, I want to reiterate, it's from a coach's perspective. Not a value judgment. I think you're all incredible players with incredible upside, and everyone showed glimpses of serious greatness today. And so be proud of your performance, even if it didn't go how you wanted. Like, be proud of it and continue to kick some ass. Good luck to everyone for the rest of the season. And shout out to everyone who made it this far watching. We appreciate you, and we wouldn't be here without you. So thanks for the support.
Massive W of a closing statement there, but that's all we got for today. So we will see you guys again next week for week 10. I hope you all have a great rest of your week.